Hi guys, welcome back. So today's video is all about how to create a luxury wardrobe on a budget. I always feel like this is such a timeless and universal topic because everyone obviously wants a wardrobe which is full of quality items that are well put together, but preferably doing so as cheaply as possible. So in today's video, I'm sharing all my tips and tricks I've learned over the years. I hope you guys enjoy this and let's get started. So my very first tip is to look out for designer collaborations and diffusion lines from your favorite designers, because this can be a great way of getting the look from your favorite design houses at a much more affordable cost. I would say though that not all design collaborations are created equal. I definitely remember the heyday of H&M collaborations. I'd be so excited. I queued up for quite a few of them. And I can't say that a whole lot of those items are still in my wardrobe. I remember being so excited for the Lanvin one, the Karl Lagerfeld one. I did get the pieces, but to be honest, they weren't very wearable. They didn't really represent my style, and I really only just bought them because I liked the designer. So I would say you have to proceed with caution with this one. But if you do take the time to consider each piece without any fear of missing out, then designer collaborations can be so fantastic, or alternatively diffusion lines too, which tend to be cheaper lines from the same brand. So I always think Max Mara is such a great example of this because they have so many different lines. So you have the main Max Mara line, which is super expensive. Coats there will run you between £3,000 and £4,000, but they also have S Max Mara, still very expensive and very luxurious, but their coats are more around the £900 mark. And then you also have Weekend by Max Mara, and that is a much cheaper line, again still very luxurious, the quality is beautiful, but you're still getting that quality and the aesthetic at a much more affordable price point. So it is definitely worth getting to know your favourite designers, knowing if they have these lines, because you can end up saving a ton of money while still achieving that very luxurious look. My second tip is to shop at Fabrique, and if you're not familiar with Fabrique, it is the most genius concept. They are basically taking designer collaborations to a whole nother level. So they actually collaborate with the individual designers that work at the luxury fashion houses that we all know and love. And when I say fashion houses, I mean all of the major ones. So Dior and Louis Vuitton and Hermes, like they work with over 300 designers. Obviously, when it comes to these fashion houses, they don't just have one designer working for them, they have many, and you actually get pieces that are designed from those designers. It is so exciting. You can see the actual background and bio of all the designers featured, so you can see where they've worked, where they draw their inspiration, and every single piece is individually crafted and designed. So I feel like some design collaborations, you get the design elements, but you don't really get the quality. That's not the case here. Every piece is just beautifully made. The quality standards are incredible. They're all limited edition, super rare, and it's just the most amazing idea. These are also a fraction of the price of what you'd pay if you did go to the actual design houses. And I'm just so excited about it. So I do have a few pieces from them in today's video. They were nice enough to partner with me on this video. I would highly recommend checking it out. It is the most amazing concept and I just absolutely love it. They are also running a Black Friday offer as well, and they actually very rarely do discounts just because the nature of what they do is very good value anyway, but they are running a Black Friday offer which is up to 50% off. There are over 200 items included, including new arrivals and bestsellers. So it is an amazing deal, definitely worth checking out. And they were also nice enough to give me a discount code as well, so you can take an extra 12% off, and this is fully stackable as well on top of the sale prices. And then I have another code for $150 off a $1,000 spend, so I will pop all the details to that down below if you did want to check it out. So the very first piece that caught my eye is this beautiful tweed vest. This is from a designer called Alex Roton, and he previously worked at Lagerfeld and now works at Chanel, and you can definitely see those influences at work here. This is absolutely gorgeous. So it is a tweed vest, has a herringbone tweed to it, so it's a lovely texture. You have that beautiful contrast trim all the way through, silver buttons that really pop. It has a square neckline, so it feels very fresh and very modern, fully lined, exquisite quality. And it's just so gorgeous. And this was the piece that as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my goodness, I just absolutely love this concept. It's very well executed and I just absolutely love this. I think it is gorgeous. Next up is this fantastic blazer, and this is from a designer called Fabrique, who worked at Hermes and is head designer at Tod's. So again, the pedigree is pretty strong here. It's a fantastic blazer, a little bit oversized, a little bit menswear inspired, very chic. You have this beautiful straight cut. The color is a really lovely maroon with like a hint of burgundy, very soft lining, and you have a little design detail here with a little belt buckle design. Super clever. I just thought this is fantastic. It's a wool twill, so very wrinkle resistant. Still feels very smooth though. Beautiful quality, just fits and hangs in a really nice way. You can tell the tailoring is absolutely on point, and I just think this is fantastic. And then this wonderful metallic thread cardigan. So this is from a designer called Victoria Chan, and this is just the coziest, most gorgeous piece. Like, I hope I'm going to pick up how special this is on camera, because you have all these metallic threads running all the way through, so it kind of sparkles when it catches the light, but in a really, really subtle way. It is also the most insanely soft thing I think I've ever felt. Like, it's absolutely incredible. And you have all these amazing architectural buttons, and I think Victoria Chan does actually have a background in architecture, which again really shows through. Just such a beautiful design. You have the contrasting metals there as well, so you have the gold and then you have the silver, perfect for mixing and matching jewelry. And it's just the coziest thing, a little bit oversized but nothing too dramatic, very, very elegant and perfect for teaming with some lighter bottoms, especially if you want to be like a little bit festive but you still want to be super cozy. I think this is just gorgeous. Now for more of a casual one, and I have these absolutely gorgeous casual trousers. So these are from a designer called Maren Martinez, who was previously a women's wear designer for Hermes. And these are just so nice. Like, I didn't think I'd ever find a pair of loungewear pants which are as chic as these. Like, they are very substantial. So they actually have a double waistband right there that is sewn together just to add a little bit of interest. It's a very, very thick, substantial fabric, and you have that beautiful seam running all the way through. This is a wool terry knit, I believe, in a beautiful oatmeal color. So very, very neutral, super comfortable, very smart looking. And I just thought these were so elegant and just casual trousers made super, super chic. Then I have this insanely beautiful coat. This is from a designer called Sebastian Menier, and it is just the most stunning thing. It's a really beautiful warm chocolate brown shade. It feels so incredibly soft, and this is more of a robe coat, so it has a really long waist tie, so you can really bundle yourself up, but you can also leave it to hang in a very, very elegant way. It has great oversized deep pockets, and I feel what's great about these is that you're not only getting a very high-end design, but you're also getting a very high-end look as well, which you don't always get on the high street, because everything is usually diluted down a bit, whereas these pieces really do feel like very high fashion. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's an alpaca wool blend, and it just feels like the softest, coziest thing. Fully lined as well. The color is just the warmest shade, and it's just so lovely. A little bit oversized, nothing too exaggerated, and just super, super chic. And then I have this beautiful knitted black top. This is from a designer called Martina Albacini, who worked at Max Mara, and you can absolutely see the elegant lines in this top. It is absolutely stunning. This is a wool silk blend, so it feels absolutely amazing to touch, like really, really lovely. It has an asymmetrical collar, and you can actually style this to however you want. So I think there are 4 different ways that you can style this, so you can really adapt it to your own individual style and how you're feeling on the day. And I just thought this was so gorgeous and incredibly elegant. So Fabrique are definitely worth a look if you do love your designer collaborations. They have over 300 designers, so there is a ton to choose from. I will leave all the details from down below. My next tip is to spend selectively, and I am a huge believer in a hierarchy of spending and spending selectively on the most high visibility items. And by high visibility, I mean that the pieces that you'll be able to wear all the time that will go with multiple different outfits. So for example, a dress, realistically, you probably can't wear that every single day. A coat or a bag, you could wear literally every single day and no one would think that was strange at all. So that's what I mean by high visibility, and that is very much how I prioritize my spending and building out my wardrobe. So no surprise here, but the very first thing I chose to spend my money on was a luxury handbag. And I love bags because they can literally go with every single thing. You don't have to change them out all the time, and even if you just have one luxury bag, it will have the power to elevate literally every single outfit, which is obviously why I like them so much. Once I did have a good collection of handbags though, I then moved on to a few key pairs of shoes. I then invested in a nice belt, and then I began to look at clothing items where I thought I'd get good bang for my buck as well. So for me, the biggest splurge is always a good coat, just because you can wear it all the time. After that, I'd look at a blazer, maybe a great pair of jeans, and then I'd really look at really luxurious, great quality basics that I would be able to team with everything, and that would make getting dressed a lot easier. And I've always found that to be a really good way of guiding my spending. Go for high visibility items, spend selectively, and you'll get a lot more bang for your buck on those key select pieces. My next tip is very pertinent for this time of year, but it is to make use of sales, but again, do so selectively. So when it comes to spending a lot of money on designer pieces, I would always say that a good general rule, and this isn't true all the time, but a good general rule is you're going to look out for discount codes rather than clearance type sales. Generally speaking, a very classic item that is brought back year after year that is very timeless tends not to go into a clearance type sale, just because stores don't usually have that much trouble getting rid of those items. They usually sell very well because they are very classic and always in demand. A discount code though is more likely to be a blanket discount and more likely to work off those classic items. And of course there are always exceptions, but usually I find that my best buys always come from discount codes rather than the clearance type sales. My next tip is to utilize the 80-20 rule, and I love this rule. I think it applies to so many things in life, and it can definitely be applied to spending and fashion as well. So here in this case, for me, it's 80% about making sure that you're buying sensibly, investing in beautiful quality items that will really build out your wardrobe in a really beautiful way, and then saving 20% of your spending money for just those fun items that you fall in love with and are one of the reasons that you like fashion. I think it's really important to remember to actually have fun with fashion as well. I think we can really get sucked into the idea that, you know, it's quite a serious thing and we need to make sure that every single purchase is investment worthy and classic and neutral. But it's also really important to have fun and actually enjoy the process as well. So for me, I've always found that to be a really good balance. Make sure 80% are sensible, considered purchases, are actually a good wardrobe investment, and then saving that 20% just for items that I genuinely fall in love with, and which is the whole reason why I love fashion in the first place. My next tip is probably a common sense one, but it is to take care of the clothes that you have, because if you take care of the clothes that you have, it just means that you're going to have to replace them far less quickly, which means you can also use that money for something else that you want to buy instead, whether that is fashion or something else in your life. I'm a big believer in really taking care of what you have. I think it's so important. I think on principle it's an important thing, but it also just really makes sense economically as well. And here you might want to invest in a few key things just to make sure that your items do have a good life cycle. So my list is always a steamer. I find that a steamer is much more gentle on clothes than an iron is, and you just also get a nicer finish as well. A depiler is also an absolutely essential piece of kit for me, and it really doesn't matter how good quality your knitwear is, whether it is wool or cashmere, eventually most fabrics will pile a little bit. So just getting one of these devices, it's very satisfying to use and can also really refresh your knitwear to have it looking good as new. Having a basic spray protectant as well for your suede items is an essential. One of my favorites is the Colonel Pro one. I spray it on every single pair of suede boots and shoes and general accessories I can. It is incredible at making things waterproof, and it is well worth doing because it really can extend the life of your items by years for the cost of literally a £10 can. And then my next tip is to read the instructions on your labels. It is so important, and I know it's easily missed, but it really can save you a lot of money from ruined items. If it says don't put it in the washing machine, don't put it in the washing machine. Hand washing is really so easy to do, and it really can extend the life of your items. I also never tumble dry my items. I know that might be a bit controversial because I know lots of people love their dryer, but for me the only things I actually tumble dry are my sheets and my towels. I don't do anything else. I literally hang dry everything else, because it really does preserve the quality of your items. If you put it in the dryer, one, they can shrink, but two, it really wears down the fabric so much quicker. So for me, I would rather take the extra time and make sure that my items have a much longer lifespan. And then my very last tip is probably the most important one of all, and it is to only buy items that are instantly flattering. And by instantly flattering, I mean items that don't need to be taken to the tailor, they don't need you to lose £5 in order to look good, they don't need you to buy other items in order to make them work. They just look good right now as you are. It's taken me a really long time to actually learn that myself. I am definitely guilty of buying something which would look really good if I just lost a couple of pounds. Sometimes that happens, more often than not it doesn't. I'm similarly guilty of buying items which are almost perfect, but I need to take them to the tailor, and more often than not, I just don't. And I know that's a really common tip, you know, just take things to the tailor, but you know, I'm busy, like I just don't always get around to it. So for me, the biggest game changer of my wardrobe is only buying items that actually look good on me now and which genuinely make me feel really good. I think it's also a simple truth that you can have the most expensive items, the most expensive fabrics in the world, but if they don't fit right on you, they're just not going to look that good. Whereas you can get very inexpensive items, and if they fit you well and if they make you feel and look really good, they'll look way more expensive than any luxurious high-end piece. So that is definitely a game changer for my wardrobe anyway. I would encourage you to try out as well. Only buy things that genuinely look good on you now. It has been completely freeing. So that wraps up this video, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it, you found it useful. I will go ahead and leave all the details for Fabrique down below. I would highly recommend checking them out. It is just the most amazing concept. If you have any questions for me, then leave me a comment. If you enjoyed the video, please do give us a thumbs up. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.